Today I'm going to be playing DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. This is a brand new game I just got that I've been loving and absolutely delving into. A bit of a challenging game, which is interesting considering the sort of audience that it's catering to, clearly catering to kids. Today, as far as game mechanics go, I'm going to be talking about the different trick flips, ways you can boost, ways to get yourself more momentum in the game to beat your opponents, and specifically relating to the challenges. This comes as an absolute necessity, as many of the people you'll face in this have sort of, are more harder opponents. So yeah, delving right into it. Sorry, I blanked out there for a second. Delving right into it is this turn right here. So basically what I just did was I hit L2, and I then hit triangle, which sent me for a boost to help me get around enemies. If you go through this circle here, that's another boosting mechanism. So basically, yeah, so this is a perfect example. Challenge failed. So basically what it wants you to do is it wants you to use, this is what I take from it, it wants you to use the environment around you to boost yourself in the race. So rather than having an inherent fast vehicle, that may be a game like Forza Motorsport where you look at the specs, pick your fastest car, and then that's how you get advantage in the race. It wants you to use your environment and the things around you to boost yourself farther into the competition to get yourself to the finish line. So for instance, as I make this turn, I'm going to hit L2, and then I'm going to hit triangle, and it boosts me. This is a pathway. If you hit those little arch things, this takes you for a pathway and further helps you in the race. Just went through another loop to get me faster. If you do a trick flip, it boosts you quite a bit. Trophies can help boost you. Here's a drifting strip, going around it, then hit triangle, boosts me. Next up, we are going to be talking about ways you can inhibit your enemies from doing good. So, for instance, if I hit X, I just got this guitar here. This X kind of sends cars around me to a frenzy, make it easier for me to go around them. And you see lots of similar aspects to this in Mario Kart. Mario Kart has plenty of this in it. I will say downfalls to this. There are a bunch of glitches in, sort of like going around this. Sometimes it glitches out. Sometimes you don't get the drift you wanted because the game's very new. So not all the kinks are completely worked out. In regards to sort of what we can talk about in the textbook, this game has no real sort of ending, or there's almost nothing to beat. Even when you finish all the challenges, there's still stuff that can be done. Like, there's free play, there's multiplayer, there's online mode. There's all these things that make it so that even when you finish all the challenges, there's still endless possibilities for what you can do, endless outcomes. I mean, you can play with people across the world in this game, as it is online, which changes it up quite a bit, because, games like, maybe like, I say Spider-Man 2, for example, once you beat the game 100%, there's very minimal activity you can do without having to redo the story or DLCs. With racer games like this or Call of Duty, there's infinite game modes that you can play with people, and it sort of makes the game, I would say it makes the game more fun in that sense, because then you're not wasting your money, you're honestly getting your money's worth, whereas maybe a story-based game, like Far Cry or Spider-Man or Batman Arkham Knight, that would be more tedious, and maybe when you finish the game, there's little reason for you to go back to it and play it some more. So you're truly getting your money's worth with this game. And that's, relating to lecture and what we're talking about, I think that's what makes this kind of an interesting game is, and there's also little possibility for getting confused with reality. I think games that are so far from reality like this, I don't believe that it's as easy to get trapped in that. Talking in regards to, like, maybe you play Spider-Man and you get trapped in this fantasy of being the hero of Spider-Man, whereas this is a racing game, and sure, racing is a real thing in real life, but using cartoon characters from movies that are make-believe and that the society is conformed to know are make-believe. I find it harder, whereas maybe a game like Call of Duty, you can get tricked into the idea, in Call of Duty there's lots of violence, and they say it can take a mental toll. So I think a game like this isn't toxic socially in the world, and I think for sure it would be worth people's time, especially if you're not a big gamer. I think this is a good one to hop into. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm loving it. There's a bunch of bugs with this and limited spatial. It's a limited space to go to, as this is a racing game, and there's a lot of vulnerabilities in that that make it hard to expand beyond just the maps and little races that are 3 laps. But besides that, I think it's a great game, and I think it's worth checking out. I know I didn't see it in stores. I had to buy it online, which is a shame. I think that it's probably going to get overlooked, as Mario Kart is a huge competitor. Nintendo in general is famous for these games, but I think it's definitely worth checking out. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got on DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. See you next Game Journal.